who joins us now live to tell us all about it. Shane?
Well, Lisa, it was almost like if it was Sunday again when the West Indies, when both those teams won those matches and created and completed a historic treble. Just about after 3 this afternoon, the plane landed, the Virgin Atlantic plane. We were all waiting in the media for it. And when we saw the skipper, Stephanie Taylor, come down the stairs, it reminded us all of when the West Indies won that T20 World Cup back in, not the T20 World Cup, the ICC Champions Trophy back in 2004, led by Brian Lara. It was fantastic. You'd have had to be in there, Lisa. It was electric. As you can see, some of the media there, they were scampering, trying to get the best shots, getting down the tarmac. Even the mighty Gabby was there. He was with the students of St. Paul's. And 10 minutes before the plane landed, they scripted a song for the team. There was a fanfare fitting for Queens. It really felt like royalty down there this afternoon. I mean, it was amazing. The girls came in, they were loved, they felt the love. Everyone was there waiting for them. There were the big smiles, the bright colors. It was absolutely magnificent. Gabby playing the guitar. Even the students were doing the popular Dwayne Bravo champion dance. It was fantastic. You know, that dance has gone viral, gone global. I think over 5 million hits on YouTube or something like that. And everyone is getting involved. Then they came, when these girls met their parents and their family for the first time, seeing them after about 2 months out on tour in India. It was great. I mean, there were tears shed, the beautiful colors, there were balloons, people brought gifts. I mean, it was absolutely magnificent. But I don't want to give away everything, Lisa. And I can tell you on tonight, during the CBC Sports News, we're going to have everything for you.
Thank you very much. Certainly an electric atmosphere as you described it. Shane Jones there for us. And as you said, stay tuned to the CBC Sports News later on to hear the rest of that story. Thank you very much, Shane. Well, there is an increasing interest in home ownership in Barbados. That's according to one bank, which says more Barbadians are coming forward to purchase a piece of the rock. Lisa Lord has that story.
Gregory Blackman is the manager of sales and business development at CIBC First Caribbean Bank. He says there has definitely been an increase in demand for mortgages.
Over the past couple of years, things did dip, immediately following the 2008, 2009, 10. I would say the deepest points of the recession. But we have seen increased interest. We have seen more mortgages being booked, and this has also been helped by a reduction in the general interest rate.
And with the real estate market considered to be one for buyers, people purchasing properties are getting them below market value.
So persons in the market today for property, whether it's a construction project, whether it's purchase of an existing home, or whether persons looking to buy a piece of land, they are actually getting properties at significantly better value than they would have a few years ago.
In terms of clients defaulting on their mortgages, Mr. Blackman says their delinquency figures are below the industry average.
We find that our process enables us to provide the guidance to the clients in terms of what is the maximum amount they can afford, but more importantly, what's the right amount for them. And as a result, we see fewer defaults versus the industry average.
While there may be a perception that banks are aggressive in cases where repossession occurs, Mr. Blackman says this is simply not true.
The reality is that we are committed to assisting our clients, and in most scenarios, most clients come to us early and we're able to work out payment plans so that the client and the families that are impacted have the opportunity to continue to make payments, to continue to own that asset. And you know, that is absolutely last resort. That is not something that we view as a first option.
Mr. Blackman was speaking after the media launch of the Real Estate Expo, which will be held on April 30th at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center. Organizer Derek Frederick says the expo is intended to drive home the point that real estate is a good investment.
It's a saying in Barbados that, you know, land doesn't spoil. And as a result, the purpose of the Real Estate Expo is really to reach out to a wider range of Barbadians. There are a lot of Barbadians who are coming up now who don't know that saying that land doesn't spoil. And we really want to entrench that in them, because the property and the land of Barbados is the future of the young Barbadians as we know it.
Lisa Lord, CBC News.
The challenging economic environment continues to negatively affect the value of the market. This comes from Manager of Advisory Services at Terra Caribbean, Simone Clark, as she was speaking at the company's Red Book launch. Ms. Clark says that unfortunately not all of the market participants have adapted to the declining values.
In this instance, market participants being purchasers, vendors, people who hold an interest in property today or potential interest in property. And you'll see that we have requests from various clients who in their mind have already determined what property value they want to get from a market valuation report. And in some instances, you would get clients who say, okay, I want it for this purpose, but I want a low value, or I want it for another purpose and I want a high value, which creates a challenge for us as valuers in the market.
Chief Executive Officer of Terra Caribbean, Andrew Malalu, was elated about the launch of the Red Book. He says that for the first time, the Terra team has managed to generate the book internally.
This year we've reached the point where we have enough content that we generate ourselves, that we felt comfortable in writing on all aspects of the real estate market. The other thing that the 9th edition you will find is an improvement or a change or continued development with it, is that we have given a bit more information on a segment by segment basis. We've always given macro information about the Barbados market, but now we have delved further into the data and given you a little taste of the detail that we cover.
Corruption and a sluggish judicial system have been identified as the biggest threats facing entrepreneurship and innovation in Barbados. That's the view of innovator Alan Emtage, a Barbadian scholar credited with creating the world's first internet search engine back in 1989 in the infancy of the internet. He gave the feature address at the launch of the 3rd season of Scotiabank's Bank on Me television series. Mr. Emtage, who is also the Chief Technical Officer with the US-based web engineering company Mediapolis, told the participants that he's seen evidence of blatant corruption creeping into Barbadian society, and he urged them not to get caught up in this type of activity.
Do not accept that as a way of life for doing business. Corruption is corrosive to a society. Once it takes hold, it is almost impossible to get rid of it, because it infects not only your relationship with the government and companies, it affects your relationship with one another, right? Lying becomes fraud, and lying and lack of merit part of the culture, right? Do not accept it, do not participate in it. Speak out when you see it.
Mr. Emtage also expressed disgust at what he says is a highly inefficient legal system here, which according to him is a huge impediment to local entrepreneurs.
We cannot have a legal system in a modern society, in a modern economy, that will take 10 years to resolve or 27 years to resolve, right? Something needs to be done about this, because you know that business requires contracts to be enforced, it requires patents to be adjudicated, it requires companies to be created. You cannot do that when the legal system runs like molasses.
Meanwhile, 33 entrepreneurs will go head-to-head in the Bank on Me series this time around. 24 of them will then be selected for the in-studio pitching phase with the judges. But Maureen Edwards, the Small Business Development Manager at Scotiabank, reminds participants that elimination from the show is not the end of the road. In fact, she says the desire of the bank is to educate and empower entrepreneurs. According to her, most of them have chosen to stick with Scotia.
We have seen that vision become reality, as most of the contestants from both seasons have continued to develop and take their businesses to the next level. We are pleased to have help equip these entrepreneurs with the skills to grow their business, and indeed we have gone further. Quite a few past Bank on Me contestants are now Scotiabank small business customers, and that is something we are very proud of.
Barbados has lost one of the pioneers in outreach programs in higher education. Dr. Leonard Shorey passed away last evening after a brief illness. He was 91 years old. The educator spent over 20 years at the open campus of the University of the West Indies. He was honored by that Pinelands St. Michael institution, which named one of its two wings after him. Daughter Norma Shorey Bryant, who spoke on behalf of the family, was moved by the outpouring of love from Barbados as news spread of his passing. She says her father left a legacy in the area of education. Dr. Shorey is survived by his wife Gertrude, 4 daughters and 3 grandsons.
More great cities just got closer. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard is now even better. Fly to New York, Miami, Orlando, and Fort Lauderdale with just 20,000 Scotia points. With your new Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard, you'll receive a welcome bonus of 10,000 Scotia points, so you can enjoy the cities you love most sooner than ever. Apply by March 31st. Call 1-800-744-2672 or visit your nearest branch. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
A lot of people think that fast bikes are cool, and the girls surely think that's so right there. But like so many things about life, you gotta be careful. Having sex without a condom is like riding a bike without a helmet. It's just plain dumb. It's okay to have fun as long as you're smart about it. My name is Daniel the Lion Fortress, and I'm different, and I'm making a difference.
Live up, love, protect, respect.
2016 is certainly a year of celebration, as like our great country, we at Pine Hill will celebrate our own 50th anniversary. We look to the future with optimism, yet we hold dear to our tradition of helping to nourish Barbadians since 1966, and we want you to come along and help as we take a historic look back. We're in search of Pine Hill artifacts including cartons, milk bottles, crates, photographs, or any other historical Pine Hill material for our 50th anniversary exhibit. If you're willing to contribute, please give us a call at 227-6706 or 243-4089. Pine Hill, 50 years with you.
A campaign to enhance positive behavior and self-esteem among the youth is intensifying, and Managing Director of the Free Mind Institute, Errol Griffith, plans to take the power of choice to every primary and secondary school across Barbados. Over a dozen students are attending a workshop at Queen's College, a joint venture between the Free Mind Institute and the school's Interschool Christian Fellowship. Its purpose, to provide students with tools to build confidence and help them with the challenges they face.
Well, basically what we've learned so far is that in life, even when things fall in our way, like if we come to some bump in the road, that we can always overcome it, and that is basically up to us.
I think this program was really good for me, especially because sometimes I have doubts about different things in my life, and I really there's so many programs that happen and that they tell you that you can do whatever, but I think this program is very unique and that it just reinforces everything that I've learned, and it tells me that I can do a lot of things and that I can overcome anything that is put towards me.
I had to go in every area of my life, look here, look there, and then see that I can do anything once I put my all in it. Once Jesus is first, then it would happen and he will help me to get it done.
This program is for anyone who wants to feel inspired by anyone else.
Facilitator for the ISCF, Roger Scott, says the initiative is important for students at this stage of their development. Meantime, Errol Griffith has welcomed the support from local businesses. He says the program will move on to Darrell Jordan Secondary School next week, and there's more to come.
The other 2 elements of it that I'll just mention now is that we want to now create a power choice club in every single school. So we create clubs where students are alumni, teachers, staff, friends of the school are coming together in a real structured way and encouraging each other in their quest to be the best that they can be. And just like the West Indies became world champions.
Mr. Griffith says the Institute is committed to making Barbados the #1 place in the world to live, work and visit, starting with these students. The Barbados Secondary Teachers Union is no longer threatening action that could affect the start of the new school term. Confirmation of this from BSTU President Mary Ann Redmond. She says the union has received assurances from the Ministry of Education that it will address environmental concerns identified at Commermere, the Lodge School and Springer Memorial. Those assurances came yesterday at a meeting between the union and education officials at the ministry's Constitution Road headquarters. Ms. Redmond says the ministry is responding to concerns at the 3 schools after hearing recommendations from the union. She says while there are still some outstanding issues relating to Commermere, she is satisfied that those problems are being dealt with, and she is pleased with what the education officials have done so far. Now, just last week, the BSTU boss sounded a warning at the union's annual general meeting, suggesting that the start of the new term could be affected if the ministry failed to address issues facing teachers and students at the 3 schools. The Barbados Agricultural Society is putting forward a proposal to the Education Ministry, which it believes is the best option for students seeking a career in agriculture. BAS Chief Executive Officer James Paul is suggesting the start of an apprenticeship program to help young people pursue a career in the field. His comments come as he continues to call on education officials to abandon plans for a facility slated for Hope in St. Lucie on grasslands which he says are a lifeline for dairy and sheep farmers on the island.
We have been training the BAS to get young people involved. As a matter of fact, we have been encouraging farmers who have young people with them, that to don't drive them away from the farm, bring them into the farm, help them to do things, and that's the best form of training, no matter what people think. Because while in a school, anything could be done. That's book work, that's good thing, but it is the practical aspects of farming that is extremely important. And how they're going to get that is by involving the farming community.
The concept of the natural family is being threatened as developed countries are making decisions in favor of the homosexual lifestyle and gay marriage. Dr. Veronica Evelyn says the conference by the World Congress of Families is a means to arrest the situation. Dr. Evelyn is one of the organizers of the conference. She says the theme, the natural family, the key to a healthy, stable and prosperous Caribbean community, is timely.
We're looking at, it's a very intense, packed conference. We have on day 1, we begin by looking at worldviews. We look at marriage as a social benefit. We look at the differential roles of fathers and mothers. We consider the Convention on the Rights of the Child, the family and the Sustainable Development Goals.
Dr. Evelyn says there has to be discussion so a sound decision can be reached. She believes the conference, scheduled for April 8th and 9th at the Accra Beach Hotel, is an appropriate avenue to do so. She says issues such as resources need to be considered.
So do we in the West Indies, 1, do we have the human resources? Do we have the financial resources? Do we have the technical resources to deal with the fallout? If we change the whole structure of society and to conform to the developed countries. And don't talk about transgenderism.
Still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across the region. But first, here is a tip from Coverley.